My next guest, she is a professional mixed martial artist with a record of 2 wins with 1 loss. She's currently on season 30 of The Ultimate Fighter, which you can catch on Tuesdays on ESPN Plus. Please welcome onto the show, Juliana Killer Miller. I like that. Did I say that
Hey,
right?
killer! I
Ki-
can't wait for you guys to see the beast I unleashed in there, It's gonna
Yeah,
be a fun.
I'm very pumped to see that. But first, how are you today? I know it's kind of what is it? It's nighttime right now when we're recording this thing. You just finished training. You were removed from filming this show. I know you can't talk about it. I know you're getting back to humanity, right? As they say. How are you doing, Juliana?
I am doing so good. I think everyone will say first getting out of the TUF house, you go through like what I would say is like the tough blues. It's just a reintroduction into society. Like when we came out of the TUF house, we were at war with Russia. Gas went up like $5 a
Oh
gallon.
crap!
There was like all this COVID stuff happening. So it's kind of shocking to walk back into the normal world. It hits you in the face like, oh my God. I remember when we all got our cell phones back, we looked at them and it hurt our eyes because the screens are fuzzy. We hadn't seen
Yeah.
a screen in so long, no cell phones, no music. So I made it past the tough blues, but that's definitely something, when you're reintroducing yourself to the world, things are pretty shocking. Now I'm feeling great. I'm just staying ready. Obviously, we can't give away
No, for
any
sure.
secrets. So it's pretty cool. I still keep in touch with a lot of my friends from TUF, and literally everyone on the card, we're all staying ready, like, give us a call. So it's cool. I feel great. I am so, I'm just like filled with gratitude every week watching these shows coming out. And I'm almost like so excited with anticipation of my fight. I'm just like, I'm excited
No,
and nervous too. It's like, oh wow, y'all are about to see me throw down.
no, for sure. I mean, how crazy, right, is it to grab your phone? I mean, did it just blow up with notifications for you?
Normally, I feel like it would. I was actually surprised at the lack of messages I had.
That's
I was like,
good.
does anyone love me? And then I realized like an hour later, my phone was on airplane mode and they
Oh,
all
okay.
started showing up. So I was like, what?
Oh, okay. I was like, well, then you're handling business.
Yeah, I had a great time.
That's awesome. So, got a couple questions from Tough, but we'll save that for the very end here. First of all, I just want to get to know Juliana Miller, right? Who are you? I mean, you're an MMA fighter here. We have it here. Your 2 wins, all both came by submission. I mean, what started you in this journey of MMA?
Wow. Okay. So one night, this is a really funny story.
All right.
I'll try to make it short and sweet. One night I was in an all age nightclub, or like I was in a nightclub,
Okay.
and they kicked everyone out of the nightclub and they rolled out some mats, and everyone was like kind of drunk, just all fucked up, and everyone was rolling around on these mats. And I was like, what are they doing? What is this? And they're like, oh, it's jujitsu. They're like, want to try a move? And me being a wild spirit, I was like, F yes, let's go. The first move that I learned that night was a flying triangle.
Okay.
Um,
A flying triangle.
a flying
A
triangle,
fly, not
yeah.
even a triangle, a flying triangle.
A flying triangle is like a bigger dude, and they're like, yes, like you just put your hand here, you jump up, grab your leg, flying triangle. And I tried it maybe 2 or 3 times, got it on the fourth attempt, and was like, what is this? This is so cool, really amazing. And I was instantly hooked. I joined classes for jiu-jitsu the next day, and later on in life I ran into an altercation with somebody that had been drinking. It was actually a guy I was dating at the time, and I got like assaulted that night, and everyone kept telling me, you need to buy a gun, you need to buy a gun. And I was like, no, I need to be better at self-defense. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
God. If someone's drinking, that doesn't mean they deserve to be shot. Like, we've all had, well, not everyone, but most people
Yeah.
have had it where they weren't fully themselves. Maybe they were angry and threw something. But I don't believe that I should be the punisher for people going through that. I think I need to defend myself and separate away from it.
Yeah.
So I got choked out one night, and I was like, no one was ever going to touch me like this again. F that. And yeah, so I was like, I want to learn how to fight for real. I want to learn what to do if somebody grabs me, and I want to make damn sure no one will ever touch me again. So I started getting really into jujitsu, and I asked my coach once I got good at competing, I was like, oh, Manny Manolo, can I pretty please have a women's self-defense seminar? And he's like, no way, hun, the only fight you were ever in, you got fucked up. And I was like, true, what do you want from me? He said, you need to go win 3 amateur MMA fights, and then I'll let you host your women's self-defense seminar. So I was like, all right, let's go. I went out and won my first 3 fights in under a minute, breaking the girl's arms, just completely.
You broke somebody's arm.
Yes,
Good Lord.
I've literally just like, if you don't tap, I will break it. And that's what I did. I broke it. And I realized, I was like, man, I'm
good Lord.
Love it. So I was kind of hooked from there, and I did in fact get my women's self-defense courses, and I just kept the ball rolling. Here I am now.
So your first move was a flying triangle.
Yeah, in a nightclub.
That's insane. The first thing I learned in jiu-jitsu was how to shrimp.
Right.
So yeah, let's just say you're ahead of the game. Let's just say you're ahead of the game there. That's crazy, man. And by the way, whoever that was, man, good Lord, man. I hope they're doing better, So I hope no one's ever in that position again like that. I think now you'd probably kick some ass, or you'd probably kick that person's ass pretty easily. I think I wouldn't bet against you. So you went through your amateur, then you made your professional debut, right? How was that as far as feeling? Did it feel different for you? I mean, or is it just all business for you?
My pro debut was really interesting. I was set to fight this girl, Stephanie Glitchhammer. She's actually like, she's a black belt, super successful, and we were supposed to fight at a place that I call Chicken Coop. We call it Cali Cake, but it's one of those Indian reservation places where, they try to get good girls, but, I was scheduled to fight a really high level black belt, and she backed out last minute. Well, this being Chicken Coop, of course, they found a replacement, and replacement was a girl who had maybe 3 to 5 pro fights, but like she didn't train consistently. So they paid her to fight me. And I was so grateful to just be getting in the cage and getting experience. However, I felt like robbed a little bit. I was like, I was supposed to fight this black belt, super tough girl who is bigger than me, stronger than me. And, she didn't make it. And, I found the replacement. I did really good. I dropped her and I took her back and I choked her out. But it didn't feel like the real thing yet, because I knew that this opponent didn't have the same level of training as me. She didn't have a full camp like me. And that took away from like the confidence building in my head. But so that was my pro debut. I'm really grateful though. However, I had all my friends and family there. So I felt the crowd, and my friends from high school showed up with posters that had my name on it. And that was the day that I really realized that when I do this, it's for more than just myself. It's for my town, my family, and all the people I'm influencing. So it felt real, but it also didn't at the same time. That's why I loved getting my first, big fight in Invicta. I ended up with a submission in the first round. And to me, I was like, all right, this girl had an 8-week camp training to not get armbarred by me, and I armbarred her. So it ended up, that was a real confidence builder.
Yeah, and you also, talking about TUF, right? And the talent you're around. You're around Juliana Pena, you're around Amanda Nunez. But that fight card was Kayla Harrison, correct? Kayla Harrison was the main event of that fight card you were on, correct?
Yeah, and it was the most bloody fight I've ever seen. I was literally like, normally I'm pretty tough about these things, but I was peeking through my eyes like, please stop the fight, ref. Like, I have never seen blood just like like it looked like a heartbeat of blood, just like it was.
Did you get to exchange some words with her by any chance?
Not really much with Kayla, because as soon as those fights were over, I had someone pick me up and we went to go get barbecue because we're in Kansas City. So I was like, I'm out of here. I need to go get some food.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I maybe said hello and passerby, but I don't think that she would recollect meeting me.
No, but you're around. You've been around those some of the greatest. Now, I'm not even gonna say female athlete. I'm just gonna say greatest athletes that the sport of MMA has just seen. Right? I mean, that must feel kind of cool, right?
Yeah, in general, I mean, I came up with Alima Lay McFarland, who was the
Yeah.
Bellator world champion. She defended it like 5 times. Liz Carmouche, she just won the Bellator world title. Liz fought Valentina Shevchenko, some of the best in the world, and I came up when they were fighting at this level. So yeah, I really am just so grateful to have been training with the best, and now with Ultimate Fighter, I just I'm coming with a whole new arsenal of tools. So
Now, so for you, was the goal always to train in MMA, be an MMA fighter? As I say, Juliana Miller is a mixed martial artist, a professional mixed martial artist. Was that always the dream for you?
no, funny you ask. So I grew up on WWE with The Rock and Hulk Hogan.
What do we have it here? I think we got some.
Look at that. I
There we
have a
go.
signed picture with Undertaker. Like
There
I
we
got
go.
him Undertaker, and I was a pro wrestling fan. So originally, I wanted to get good at jujitsu for self-defense, but then my plan was to go and try out to be a pro wrestler. I've always wanted to be a pro wrestler. I love pro wrestling. I have pro wrestled once now with some of my friends, but no, yeah, it was never the plan to do MMA. I just wanted to do my 3, do a class and be done with it, and fell in love. So, and honestly, I still want to be a pro wrestler. Like after my fighting career is done, I am for sure gonna wrestle a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So who is your favorite? The Undertaker?
Yeah, I loved Undertaker. It was interesting though, because when I met him, I found out he actually has like red hair, super soft voice. Like
Yeah.
I thought he was this like mean guy, and I loved him once I realized like, oh my God, this is like a sweet giant that's just like badass. But I would say that I loved The Rock and I loved Team DX. I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I
Of
believe it was
course,
Triple H, right?
Yeah, Triple H, Shawn Michaels.
Dude,
Dude.
that's my ultimate favorite. Like I loved watching them run around, play pranks on the boss, like Team DX bitch, and like his like, oh man, that I loved those two. Those were two.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you a secret here, and I hope my sister doesn't listen to this thing. But so Royal Rumble's gonna be here in San Antonio, I believe in January. That's what the big rumor is. So
What?
yeah, so if it is here in San Antonio, I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I'm gonna bring my little nephew because he just started going into liking it now. So I'm gonna surprise. That's gonna be his Christmas gift. So I mean, he's not old enough to listen to this. So, but I'm gonna surprise him with some Royal Rumble tickets. So.
Oh, that's gonna be the best. It's so fun and interactive for kids, and also a good way to introduce them into like, hey, maybe want to take a wrestling class or a
Yeah,
jujitsu class. And every child should know basic self-defense, because
for sure.
it's be prepared for something than to have to be taking them to therapy to deal with the trauma because they didn't know how to defend themselves. And one of the things that really mess people up is when they're, abused at a young age. So if we can
Yeah.
kind of help avoid that in any way, we can inspire, kids to learn self-defense, whether it's through wrestling or, martial arts. I think that that's like such a cool thing, and it's so much fun. I think he'll have a blast.
No, I think so too. And I think kids learning self-defense is very important. Especially like now with how things are going on. So I was actually getting ready to do a anti-bullying seminar at school. So I was getting all this information. 60% of kids, not to get real technical here with people, but like 60% of kids, or teachers, 60% of teachers in schools witness bullying, but they don't do anything about it. That's the sad part. That's so I do agree with you. I think kids should learn just basic self-defense at least.
And the thing is sometimes these teachers are like, what do I do for basic bullying? It's like these anti-bullying seminars are incredible. However, I feel that like if a bully sees a seminar about not being a bully, he's gonna be like, that loser. But if a bully goes to push a kid down and they get arm dragged and they fall on their face in the mud, they're probably not going to want to mess with that person anymore. And it's hard, but here's the thing. Most of those bullies numbers show that they have a hard life at home. Maybe their
Yeah.
parents are violent, they're being abused, they're being picked on. And it's like, this is their way of kind of letting it out, is by abusing other people, because it's kind of what they're experiencing. So I think a healthy way to kind of end that is to be like, you know, this is my boundary. If you cross it, I'm going to defend myself. And it teaches a very humbling lesson to the person that's messing with you. Like, hey,
Yeah.
you can't treat everyone this way. And, you know, you're not leaving black eyes or bruises. You're not starting a brawl. That's what I love about jujitsu is,
Yeah.
you know, it's a healthy way to defend yourself. But how are the teachers supposed to be like, well, punch him back, kid? Like, they're going to get in trouble, you know?
No, definitely. I think also, the whole, obviously, I mean, self-defense is for you to just use it to like get away, defend yourself. Also you don't want to create another bully, the whole Batman thing. You do something bad, the number of bullies is still the same, so I think self-defense is very important. I think it's something that I think every kid should do as well. So 100% with you. I was very shocked though, Julian. I really took you for a John Cena fan though. I was very surprised.
No, I actually
I love that face.
my
No.
favorite, because he was like, he was never actually in the military. So that's what bothered me, is like, if he had been in the military, retired, and then been a like military wrestling guy, I would have had more respect for his character.
Yeah.
But like, he's never had anything involvement in the military. So I was like, man, F this guy. Like,
Yeah. I mean, did you watch Peacemaker though?
yeah.
No way. You did not like it. You did not like it?
Yeah, no, like it's dope. Like I don't know. I just was more for like, I guess, the bad guys.
Oh my goodness. I thought it was a good show. I think he played a good role. To be fair, I like the show. I'm a little shy. I'm a little hurt right now.
He did. No, he did an amazing job. He just wasn't my favorite wrestler, is what I'm saying. But I love his shows. And honestly, like all the movies he acts in, he's freaking awesome and super handsome. Like, come on. You know, like, I can't hate on that.
No,
He's
I mean, I'm a guy. I can say he's one handsome dude.
right. Yeah. He's a very handsome and talented man. So absolutely no hate. I'm just saying, like, I had other favorites.
I'll put that. I'll put Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker there for you. Do you catch WrestleMania?
Not this year. No.
Oh, were you in the house during WrestleMania?
No, no, no. Like, I
Okay.
haven't seen it yet this year. I've been really focused on MMA fights, so I haven't watched as much wrestling, but I should.
No, I mean, hey, you're out there doing the thing. You're kicking butt right now. Did you by any chance play any other sport? Did you have another like athletic background as you were growing up besides wrestling?
Tons, yeah. I was in sports my whole life. For 8 years, I did soccer and softball, and I played on all-star teams. In high school, I ran track and field. I also played soccer, so I was always active. Yeah.
Did you did you have any desire to want to like go out there and play those other sports professionally besides wrestling?
Oh my gosh, I never even wrestled in high school or anything. So no, I thought I was going to be in the Olympics for soccer or swimming or something like that. Like, I never in a million years could have pictured me being a fighter.
Did you now first MMA fight? Did you go nuts for it? Was that something you'll always remember? What was the first fight or your first MMA fight experience that wasn't your own?
My first MMA experience, it wasn't my own. I forget who the main event was, but I saw Ronda Rousey fight,
Okay.
and I went in Vegas to visit my friends, and I actually went on a dating website because my boyfriend and I had broken up. I was 19, and so I went on this website, and some guy was like, "Hey, I need a date for these fights." And they're UFC fights. And I was like, what? That's pretty cool. Like, okay, I'd done just a little bit of jujitsu, so I figured, why not? And yeah, we met up and went to the fights. And I remember the first fight I saw live. We were so far back, we had to get the little binoculars.
Okay.
Um, and so we're like in the very end, in the very back row. I'm looking through the little binoculars, and I see Rhonda just like hit a throw and get that arm bar. And I was like, what the hell? I want to do this one day. And I wonder if I can look back and find the picture of the year
Okay.
that I was there. But I honestly, like, I don't remember any of the fights. it was a New Year's weekend. So I don't remember any of the other fights except for Ronda, and I left there like, I'm gonna do this one day. It's so cool.
Yeah, if it was Ronda, she was the main event. There's no way she was not the main event. So for sure, I'm assuming that was definitely a memorable one there. I mean, everyone
Yeah.
would watch whenever she would come on. I mean, Ronda Rousey took MMA by storm. It was
Yeah.
insane. Now, for you, again, obviously, we'll talk positive, right? You getting your first fight, you fought in Invicta, you won. Talk to me about some of the downs that you've experienced though with MMA and what you did to just overcome these things, because obviously life isn't perfect. Life isn't perfect.
Absolutely. So one of the biggest downs is when I first started, I was in a fight camp. I was an amateur
Okay.
jumping into a professional fight camp with Liz Carmouche, Alima Lay McFarlane, Pearl Gonzalez, this girl Gina that was there. Like, oh my gosh, very high level girls that were fighting in Bellator and UFC. And I got my ass beat so bad. My first day at the gym, I threw some crazy punch. It hit this girl in the face. She got a bloody nose. My next round, I went with this guy, Leonard. Then he punched me in the face. I had a bloody nose.
Okay.
So I've never, ever seen myself bleed before. First day. And I started bleeding. I'm grabbing my nose, and Coach Manolo's like, finish your round. What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm bleeding. I've never, like, I was like, okay. And I ended up going with Liz the next round, and oh man, my first few months I was either getting knocked out, knocked down, kicked so hard in the stomach that I thought I was gonna die because I couldn't breathe. Like, I was like, man, I'm horrible at this. Why am I fighting? And I would leave every day crying. And there was this guy, Julio. And as I was leaving the gym, one of the stoner kids, we would, go out there and, smoke a joint on the way home. And he would sit in the car with me and he'd be like, I know it's hard now, but you're going to get better. Don't quit. I have faith in you. And so it was really a friend in the beginning that told me, like, you suck before you get good. And I really appreciate that. Another hard time was when I lost to Claire Guthrie. This was a huge, big ordeal for me because I really believed that I was going to be an undefeated champion like
Okay.
Lima was. And I had so much built up in my head about being undefeated. It was everything to me. So as soon as I was defeated, I was like, am I even meant for this? I'm no good. Like,
Yeah.
that loss broke me. It broke me way more than I should. I didn't actually fight that bad, but in my head, I had this built up thing, and I questioned whether I should do this anymore. I actually just about joined the military because I didn't see any security in the sport. If you're not
Sure.
in a big ocean, it's like I'm working 4 jobs, a regular job and 3 side jobs just to hustle to survive in California, to try to pay
Yeah.
my rent, because it's like I can't work. Like, I used to be a bartender, but I work till 3 or 4 a.m. Strength and conditioning starts at 8 a.m. If I miss strength and conditioning, I don't fight. So I had to give up all these things, and I didn't see any security. And then I didn't know if I was good. And it was terrifying to me, the idea of putting my heart and soul into a sport and then walking away from it with a damaged body, broken,
Yeah.
and not much to show for it besides a cool story. I turned 26 this year, and the healthcare thing really worried me. And when TUF came around, I was in an emotional intelligence course to try to decide my life. So I think what helped me the most is joining an emotional intelligence course, really
Okay.
learning how to strengthen the most important muscle in your body, which is your head, our mind. We only access about 10% of it. Imagine if we were using full functionality, how intelligent we would be. So my biggest thing is, like I said, working on your mind, but also just never quitting. Like, if I had really quit and taken the easy way out, I would have never had the opportunity to actually make it. So now in my head, I'm like, all right, I'm going for this. No quit, no questions asked. And I'm going to shoot my shot for the next 5 to 10 years. The MMA world, y'all won't be able to get rid of me.
Now, you mentioned that loss to Claire. Look, you're only human. And so I understand that. I mean, when you go through the downs in anything, not just in MMA, but like, I mean, if you're trying to aspire for a specific job or you really want to accomplish something, you get rejection. I mean, rejection sucks. I mean, falling short sucks. You know, it really does, and you're human. You rarely get the opportunity to be able to go out there and, like, you know, avenge certain things or be able to feel better about other things. I mean, because sometimes when you lose, you lose. I mean, lose a job or a job interview that you really wanted. It's kind of hard to make up these things. I'm sure though, you got the announcement. TUF, right? You saw the name, man. Did it feel awkward for you though? Did it feel awkward that you were going to be in the house with somebody you fought?
Oh, for sure. So we ended up being on the same bus for
Good
medical.
Lord. Good Lord.
I told her, she was like, "Oh, hey." I was like, "Oh, hey." And
You're only
she's like,
human.
I've been, I've been meaning to say something to you, blah, blah, blah. And we squashed all our beef before we ended up in the TUF house. Um, but yeah, my first thought was like, I want to avenge my loss. And then I looked at her and I was like, she is huge in the nicest way.
Yeah.
She is freakishly strong.
Yeah.
She got tons of muscles. She's incredibly flexible, and she's improved a ton since we fought. So literally, I was the most scared of Claire out of everyone in that house. Like, the idea of a rematch with Claire, as much as I wanted it, it terrified me. So
But I'm saying, but was it a little bit of awkwardness for you?
honestly, I don't think so. I think because we had a conversation and squashed our beef, it wasn't so awkward. We actually respect each other as athletes, so it was pretty cool to shake her hand and be like, "Man, like, I think you're an awesome fighter. I hope to train with you one day." And
Yeah.
I feel that she feels the same. We have a mutual respect for each other. So although it was a little eerie and weird that they were constantly asking us, "Oh, what if a rematch? This and that." Every about a stupid.
Producers or fighters?
The producers, like,
Good Lord. I
general
mean,
fighters and the coaches, like, it tryouts are like, "Oh, you fought someone in the house before, how'd it go?" Every single coach asked that, and I had to be like, "Oh, I lost." Every coach in Tough House knew from the second I walked in there that I lost to Claire. Like, it was a huge deal. So it was awkward, but it was also made it kind of like add a little drama and funness. But I didn't feel weird with Claire. I think that she's such an awesome person. And in the first episode you see a little sneak peek of me fighting someone. So
I didn't see anything.
you guys will, if you watch the end of the first episode,
Yeah.
there's little peeks of
I'm being
fights
a little I'm being a little sarcastic.
okay, I'm
I'm
like,
being
well,
I'm being a little sarcastic here.
but for those of you that did see, there's a crazy war ahead on this season, and I can't wait for the world to see it. And really, win, lose, or draw, it's always great to go out there and try to back up what you said you would do.
No,
And for me,
100%.
if we fight each other, it's gonna be a war. And yeah, so
It's definitely something I'm looking forward to watch. You know, going to the Tough House, did you know anybody that had already experienced the Ultimate Fighter run? You know, the house.
quite a few. I
Okay.
messaged Tatiana Suarez.
One of the
Uh,
best.
Yeah, I love her. I got to talk to Angela Hill, Jessica Penne. I spoke with Ashley Yoder, all on Tough Seasons. I talked to Chris Holdsworth. He won his season with
Yeah.
Juliana Pena. I didn't know Juliana Pena yet, so like I hadn't reached out to her, but I'm actually really grateful. I got to message quite a few fighters that I had met over the years, and I loved their input. It was really helpful.
Now, I'm assuming when you're talking to people and they give you a certain, like, what to expect, right? Oh, expect this and this and this. Um, I'm assuming for you though, you're telling yourself, oh, okay, well, this is what I am going to expect. And then you get there, like for me, I'll share an experience with me. I was going through this. I used to be a restaurant manager back in the day. I was going through this training, and everyone told me that this training was terrible. The instructor, the people that were training you it was just hard. So I was expecting it to be hard, and then I got there, and it was way harder than I ever anticipated. Was it something like that for you, or was it okay? This is what they told me. Smooth sailing. We're rolling.
Being in the Tough House,
Yeah.
there's no way to mentally prepare for that. Honestly,
Okay.
it's like I had a panic attack within the first 48 hours because there's no doors. Like, you get a door on your bathroom and that's it. Like, there's no doors in the house. You walk by, people see you sleeping, 6
Yeah.
a.m. up laughing, 3 a.m. people are up playing pool, and you can hear all of it. And I'm a light sleeper. Like, I didn't have earplugs yet, and I went the first 72 hours no sleep. And I literally was like talking to the producers. I was like, I'm gonna go home right now if I don't get earplugs. I can't do this. I was like,
Good.
how am I supposed to train with no sleep? What,
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
am I gonna train with no sleep? Like, I was panicking. It's just like weird. And then I'm really grateful that I had really cool roommates that I felt safe with. I can't imagine like being stuck in a room with someone you hate. Like, I've seen that in seasons before too, and it's just like that would be so stressful. So there's just things that you can't really prepare for. It's just a mind f in a lot of ways. And the best advice that I would have for somebody is really just believe in yourself and stay focused. And that's what Tatiana said to me. She was like, if you don't believe in yourself, you know, no one else will. You got to go in there knowing that you can do it and you truly believe in yourself. So I just kind of kept falling back to that. And I was doing my emotional intelligence stuff, reading and writing and stretching and just keeping my mind strong. But yeah.
Do you feel like you evolved as a fighter from day one up to the
Um,
last day?
percent I evolved so much walking in and out of that house. I'm a new woman. I can't get too into detail
No,
as
no, for sure. No, that's great. Real quick, as we're ending this, Juliana, I'm gonna let you go. Just a couple quick questions for everyone here that's gonna be listening to this. What is Juliana Miller's favorite food?
oh my gosh, I love sweets, cookies and ice cream, and I also love spaghetti and breakfast sandwiches.
Man, croissants.
Yes.
Gotta love
Oh
croissants.
God, yes, like an egg and cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, bread.
Favorite music.
I have a few different like favorite musics. It really depends on the mood. But I would say like my top three are probably old school, like 80s and 90s, rock and
Okay.
rap. I also there's like a little country girl in me. I love me a little country, and I love reggae as well. Uh,
Nice.
yeah.
Now, for you, hobby when you're not training. I know there may not be a lot of time for you right now, but hobby, favorite thing you like to do.
Oh my gosh, I love nature. I love hiking,
Okay.
exploring waterfalls. I'm such an active person. You can find me surfing on a longboard, like skateboarding on a longboard, up the beach, snowboarding, pretty much any activity. I'm trying to do it.
Any advice that you would give to a young kid, a boy, girl, little one growing up and wanting to be a fighter or just wanting to try something new? Any advice you'd give to a little one?
Yes, absolutely. My biggest advice to you is find someone who believes in you. Find somebody who looks at you and is like, this kid, you're going to be the one to do it. Find somebody that believes in you and loves you. This is killer importance when it comes to a coach and a team. And having somebody that believes in you can push you to the next level because you always doubt yourself. We're humans. As you're learning and growing and you're getting beat up, you're like, am I meant for this? And having somebody that be like, yes, you were born to do this, you can do this, having that belief is very important. And if you're in a place and they're like, no kid, you're gonna fail, you shouldn't be here, be like, fuck you, and find a place of somebody who believes in you and somebody who wants to help you learn and grow. That being in any toxic environment like that's just going to drag you down. Find your family. Find the people who are going to be with you for the next 10 years and grind with you and watch you evolve, and really just be there to help you instead of always trying to like take your money or put you down.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Juliana. Again, thank you so much for taking the time for being here on the show today. And again, ladies and gentlemen, you can catch Juliana Miller on season 30 of The Ultimate Fighter on ESPN Plus. Thank you so much, Juliana. Is there anything you want to let the audience know before we sign out?
Yes, guys, I would just like to say follow me at Killer Miller MMA if you'd like to learn more about my journey. A huge thank you to my team and my day ones at 10th Planet San Diego, Manolo Hernandez, Bill Crawford, Richie Martinez, Alima, all the people that have worked with me. Thank you so much to my sponsors. And moreover, thank you for having me here today. The opportunity to kind of talk and gain experience on air. And for all the fans, man, I appreciate you guys so much. Stay tuned because I'm about to release a killer and you will not regret it.
I
Ooh.
love it. Thank you so much for your time, Juliana, and we can't wait to watch your episode. Again, Ultimate Fighter Season 30 airing on ESPN Plus on Tuesdays. Thank you again, Juliana.